You are live.
Hey.
So we're doing the High Energy podcast this evening.
Woo!
I'm writing a bunch of documentation for work.
That sounds gross.
Oof.
This document is 6 pages long, and the 6 pages long are headings of things I have to put detail into.
Oh no.
I've known I needed to do this for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
It is not due tomorrow, but I am past the maximum extension of the goodwill towards this not being finished
Sure.
by quite some margin.
So the sooner this gets done, the better.
Yeah. And it's not hard. Like, there's not a lot of. Like, I wrote all this stuff. So I don't have to go and hunt around. Well, I wrote most of this stuff. I don't know what this shit is down here. So, like, I don't have to go many places. I just gotta write it up. It's just taking for goddamn ever because I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had that trouble in grad school for like every writing assignment that I just couldn't do it to the very last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a professor asking me about it. And I'm just like, nah, it's just, I can't be motivated otherwise. And in my life, I've always felt like my greatest victories came when I was in this corner with my back against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it takes me painting myself into that corner, well, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Anna about this earlier, and I was like, I basically learned this skill in high school, where I would refuse to do the homework at home. I would get to school an hour before school began. I would do my homework for the first class, and then in my first class, I'd do my homework for the second class.
Yes.
And that's basically the template by which I've lived my life thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't have a 45-minute bell before it's due, I'm just not going to do it.
Okay. 80s movies taught us that we need a montage. And I'm just creating my own necessity for the montage.
80s movies are also kind of rapey.
Mm. And
Looking at you, John Hughes.
And like too many of them are on a mountain where they're skiing. I don't understand this series of ski school movies.
I don't agree with that. I think not enough of them were ski school.
Oh.
I want my $2. Yep. All right. Do we have any suggestions for next week?
We got a shitload of Oscar movies.
Oh, yeah.
There are many of those.
I went to Geek Trivia last night, and there was a whole section on the current Oscar nominees.
Mm.
I did not get 5 out of 5, and I am hot pissed.
Whoa.
Because there was definitely a Banshees question, and I just could not remember the goddamn director's name. And I don't remember the other one I missed. It was something I was not going to know at all.
Sure.
A movie came up on my Netflix recommendation for Slumberland, which when I saw it, I was like, is that in any way related to Little Nemo, the Dream Master? It is, in fact.
What?
Yeah.
By the way, you can watch the entirety of Nemo's Adventures in Slumberland on YouTube.
Nice.
I rewatched that the other day, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I don't know, when I was in my old house. And it's super fucked up.
I only have vague, like, fever dream memories of it from my childhood.
I think that must have been past my childhood.
Oh, I don't know, man. It was like weirdly. What the fuck is Nemo's Adventure?
Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland.
Yeah.
There's a movie.
Yeah, 89. No,
Yeah.
the movie is what I'm talking about. I
Oh,
didn't even know there was a show.
That's when I graduated high school. So yeah, that was.
Yeah, well, and apparently Slumberland
Oh,
is that,
the
and it's
story
got
by
Aquaman.
Mobius.
I'm gonna say yes.
Jean Moebius Garad. He did a lot of shit for Heavy Metal magazine.
Hmm.
Well, it's a heavy metal fucking movie.
Mhm.
It's a weird movie.
Mhm.
There's a lot of frightening imagery for what I assume is a child's movie. I'm into watch this Slumberland thing.
Right.
It's got Aquaman in it.
It's got Aquaman.
All right. Where is that? Netflix?
Netflix. I think it's a Netflix original.
Let's do it. Why not?
Awesome.
Why not? It's a PG movie.
Mm.
Joined by larger-than-life, daring young orphan journeys through a land of dreams to find a precious pearl that will grant her greatest wish.
I do remember seeing stuff about this with him in it,
Mm-hmm.
with Momoa in it. Kyle Chandler and Chris O'Dowd are in it also.
Oh.
Chris O'Dowd sounds like it's going to be voice act work. You don't see that guy very often. Except in Thor 2.
He pops up every now and again.
Yeah.
Always glad to see him. Okay, great. That's sorted.
Cool. Done.
Um,
Business is taken care of. All right. So why don't we get this party started? Hey, this is Tony.
Hey, it's Mitch.
and this is David.
We are the Backseat Producers. And tonight we're talking about the unbearable weight of massive talent, where Nicolas Cage is Nick Cage, according to the poster.
Yeah.
He's two Nick Cages.
He is. David, what did you think of the movie?
I enjoyed this movie.
I assumed you would.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch?
Oh yeah, it's tons of fun. It was a very meta Cage movie.
Yes. Yep. I enjoyed it as well. There's a couple of movies now that are kind of in this person playing themselves, poking fun at themselves genre. So there's like JCVD.
Oh yeah, I did like that.
Being John Malkovich.
Being John Malkovich. Pauly Shore is Dead.
Okay.
There's a few other people there. I mean, these are the movies where they're the title characters or they're the leads. There's a number of other movies where actors show up as themselves. But I mean, we just talked about the Glass Onion. There were a number of cameos in that where people played themselves.
What, like This Is the End? That Rapture movie with all that crowd in it?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Where they were all themselves. Yep.
It's a good movie.
That movie was nuts.
I dug it.
Yeah. No, I was.
Yeah. Oh, it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but it was nuts.
Does it compel me? Does it?
So many demon dicks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like well animated CGI demon dicks that you know that some animators just had to carry that home with them in their head every day.
Yep. Just a lot of dangle physics.
Just imagine them at the barbecue. Someone drops a plate of hot dogs, and they're like, "Oh shit, I gotta get to a computer right now."
Yeah.
You never know where inspiration's going to come from. Okay, so about midway through this movie,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movie up to this point, but something happened to me at the midpoint of this movie. In the sequence where they've taken LSD, okay, and they get to the wall, and they have that entire sequence where he just pokes his head around the corner. I was like, this feels like the movie is better than this. And then I sat with that for a long time. I actually paused the movie and just looked off into the distance. And I don't know why it affected me like that. Because is the movie better than this? Or have we gone so full circle around it being worse than this that it feels better again? Like I didn't know what was zero and where we were rotating around it.
See, at that point, I felt the movie was exactly where it should be, though. Because that was... It's been a couple weeks since I've seen the movie. That was after he goes to the hall of Nick Cage things and offers to buy the statue of himself.
That was, I think, the best part of the movie.
I think that's 0 point.
Those two, this is grotesque. How much do you want for it?
Yep.
That was my favorite part of the fucking movie.
I think that's the 0 point of this movie. Like that's the baseline. Like that's the point that somebody pitched that line and built a movie around that. Like that
I can accept.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's everything the movie was based on. And that was even in the trailer.
I had forgotten the trailer.
Yeah.
And was pleasantly surprised when I experienced it again for the first time.
Yeah.
My virginal brain.
I think the wall thing happens just before the shrine thing. Because I think it's after that he's like, I got to show you something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he takes him to it. He's got the golden guns and he's got the whole works in there. Oh, it's fantastic.
You're not going to think of me the same way after you see this.
Ooh.
Man, It Girl Pedro Pascal. That dude is just in fucking everything, isn't he?
Everything.
Oh, man, I'm loving The Last of Us.
Yeah. Same.
I have only watched the first episode.
Well.
Ooh, that third episode, though.
I mean, I already know all the stuff that happens in it.
See, I don't. I tried to play it and just couldn't get into it the first time. So.
Oh, no, I haven't played the game.
Oh.
I've just existed on the internet.
I played through the whole game. It's my favorite video game. Like, it really, I don't know, hit me. Dethroning Half-Life 1. I was like, all right, I'll take this.
Surface tension.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like that level.
Was Surface Tension the one where you first encounter the army?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since I've played Half-Life 1.
Because I remember the bit of a scientist being like, oh, we're saved, and it's getting mowed down. Yeah.
So many head crabs.
So
there's an interesting... I'm going to jump all the fuck around here.
Sure.
Because that's what this movie did anyway.
Oh, yeah.
They're on the IMDb trivia for this movie. And I naturally had this pulled up so I could discuss it.
That's where I was going. That's actually where I was headed.
Unbearable weight. Just show me the trivia. There is a piece of trivia on here that I don't understand. I don't understand why it is this gun. Okay. The quick shot of the goon's knife falling at the back of the Jeep is a reversed Chekhov's gun. The Chekhov's gun principle states that every element in a story must be necessary and irrelevant elements should be removed. In this case, the relevant element must be shown to explain the unfolding of the story. What? Like, what is this? A reverse Chekhov's? What?
I have no idea what you're talking
That
about.
doesn't make goddamn sense.
No.
It's just a gun. They literally just show you the knife, and then they use the knife later. I don't.
That seems like a Chekhov's gun.
Well, I don't understand.
Not a reverse.
Okay, and it wouldn't bother me if either of these two sentences were not in the same paragraph. But describing the scene and then describing the opposite. Hold on. Describing the scene and then defining the thing as the thing you just described, and then saying that they're different is enraging.
All right, I'm gonna check TV tropes on reversed Chekhov's gun.
Oh yes, please, because
Get the real authority in here.
Mm-hmm.
That scholarly work finally put this to rest.
Oh, it says here a reverse Chekhov's gun is, for example, showing a normally armed character forgetting his gun when leaving the house, because that will be the day that he needs it most. So like
that's dumb.
Like
Yeah.
John McClane taking off his shoes to make little fists in the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reverse Chekhov's gun for shoes.
Yeah. Chekhov had a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
I reject
Getting nuclear weapons vessels. What? Oh, and Chekhov's pun.
I'm out for this.
Yeah, I both want nothing to do with this and desperately need to know the example that you're going to use for this.
Well,
lay it on me, Mitch.
A Chekhov's pun, a fairly common practice in Wiki to make puns based on pre-existing trope titles. Nope, that's not a good one.
No. TV tropes is like the Urban Dictionary of whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. It's
So I found this movie really clever.
Yeah.
Just the premise alone was like ridiculous, but also kind of clever, right?
Yeah.
But then them writing a movie that was this movie in the movie.
Oh, I turned around to Julie in the last 20 minutes of the movie. It's like, so what I want to know is this, are we watching the movie that the real events are based on, or are we watching the real events that there will be a movie based on this? And yeah, it came to pass.
That was lots of fun.
It was like, I wasn't mad that I predicted that. Like that just felt like it was the right way to go.
Okay, but
like it's the punchline that this movie needed at the end.
The other obnoxious thing about this, though, is so at some point he reads Javi's screenplay, but then in the exact next scene when they're talking about it, he's like, "So what's this movie about?" And like they are starting from almost nothing, and I don't understand what happened there. He's like, "Oh, Javi has a natural feel for story," but you guys are starting from zero. What does he have a natural feel for that you've seen?
Yeah.
And then I actually thought when he was doing the accolade, he's like, "Oh yeah, I read this guy's screenplay and it's incredible." I thought he was just bullshitting, but then in the next goddamn scene with Tiffany Haddish, she's like, "Oh no, he has a masterful storytelling." Don't move and smile.
Oh, is it that time?
It's that time.
Oh boy.
Noise.
Are you guys being real?
Mhm.
You know it. Perfectly done.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This
there
will
was
get
a
a bunch of new traffic to the podcast.
sure.
This
There
is the
was
Be Real content everyone's been thirsty for.
Mhm.
there was a trend like a week or two ago where people were posting their Be Real images on TikTok, and like they just kept showing like the image. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Like it took me like seeing 4 or 5 of them. And I'm like, oh, this is Be Real stuff. Like I had no idea what was happening.
Well, that's because you're being fake, Tony.
I I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know. TV Trope says it is. So
Well, well,
That's actually the Chekhov's Be Real.
right. The Be Real in the fridge.
Mhm.
do you think Pedro Pascal was better in this or Game of Thrones? I would like to do a bracket of Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right.
Oh, wow.
That's a worthwhile undertaking.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good options there too because I I'm firmly in the camp that he was the best thing about Wonder Woman 84.
Hmm.
Between that and
Sure.
the tease of Linda Carter at the end of it.
Yeah, but you set a real low bar.
Yeah,
Well,
84 is.
sure.
I'm just gonna skip past that. I've already got the
No,
three things I'm bracketing here.
I think it deserves to be in the bracket though.
Okay. We'll put this against Wonder Woman 84, and I'm going with this.
Well, okay, sure.
Okay, so then we'll move on
Yeah.
to this versus Game of Thrones.
I think Game of Thrones versus Last of Us.
Oh, well, just because they're both prestige shows is where you're going?
Yeah, they're both on HBO.
You can put Game of
They're both
Thrones versus
they're both episodic
Mandalorian,
series.
Mandalorian was gonna get on there.
right?
Sure.
Well, because in Game of Thrones
Mando's
he
gonna
didn't have a helmet, and in Mandalorian he
He
does.
does. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think helmet wins.
Chekhov's helmet.
If he had had a helmet in Game of Thrones,
Right? That's all he needed.
Fuck the mountain.
just needed to talk less.
Mm.
Are we just
I
gonna
think he's-
assume
I
that
think
Last
he's-
of Us is the pinnacle here?
I mean, we're only 4 episodes in, so it's
Yeah,
it's
we'll give it
hard to
some
say,
time,
but yeah, so far it's yeah,
Okay, sure. I mean, but how many episodes are in this first season? It's only like 10, right?
probably.
That sounds right.
And also in Mandalorian, most of it's voice acting. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
He was on SNL a week or
Mhm.
two ago and was fantastic.
yeah, no, he's
He
really
was
yeah.
just delightful. He looked like he was just having a great time.
Mhm.
He kept cutting up. He kept like breaking character, and it was glorious. Like he just looked like he was just enjoying the shit out of himself.
So I don't know how much you remember about Community, but the episode of Community where they give out where Pierce has died and they are giving out his bequeathments.
Mm-hmm.
So they did during COVID they did a live reading of that episode and they got all the actors back. And I can't remember the guy who originally was the lawyer dude.
It was Walton Goggins.
There it is. Well, he couldn't do it. So Pedro Pascal read that thing, and he couldn't get through like any of the shit. Like because it went like he's giving out Pierce gives out like these like cryo containers of his semen to everybody. He's like, Jeff, here's a really expensive bottle of whiskey, so you don't drink this semen. He just couldn't get fucking through it. And that was the right call because it's impossible to get through.
Yep.
He also did that during the COVID. He did the lockdown. He did the Princess Bride series that they did.
He was
Inigo.
Inigo. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I saw that in his credits.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Yeah.
And he just seems like a fun guy. Like he's done a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I saw some exchange with someone with him on Twitter where they had a picture of him at a movie theater, and he's like, "Oh, I was high as fuck that day."
Nice. Oh, I don't think I've seen this Kingsman sequel that he's in.
I haven't seen any of the Kingsman movies.
Well, you're missing out.
Yeah, the first one was lots of fun.
Mm-hmm. The second one
He
was
was
weird.
in If Beale Street Could Talk. I did not remember him being in that.
I do not remember that movie at all.
It's also he's also there as uncredited, so that's probably why.
Hmm. Oh my god, he was the voice of somebody in Dishonored 2?
Yeah.
Ooh. Holy shit, look at the cast for this Dishonored 2. Rosario Dawson, Vincent D'Onofrio, Sam Rockwell, Pedro Pascal. What the shit? This game wasn't that good.
No. Well, the first one was, and that's probably why they got all these people for the second one.
The first one, I mean, I still liked the second one, but
the first one was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the world building in that was just top notch.
So many whales.
Yeah. A whole society based on whale oil. That's solid.
God,
seems like it's a little more sustainable than.
All right, I'm fucking installing Dishonored 2.
Just when you thought you were out.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, there's Disco Elysium too. Oh, why do I only have 10 meg?
Because you're writing that that documentation's taking up all your bandwidth.
That's in Google Docs. Wow, classic. What the fuck is going on here? All right.
So this movie did surprise me when with Tiffany Haddish and
Ike.
That
guy.
Where they were playing the agents.
Mm-hmm.
And then when like they just get fucking killed. Like I did not expect that to happen.
You thought they'd do more funny stuff?
Yeah. I didn't expect it to get quite as serious at that point. Like I thought it would just be they would be more slapsticky and more like Keystone Cop. Mm-hmm. These two are good enough at their job, but they're also kind of incompetent that they can't catch these guys, and that's just the way it would go about. And all of a sudden they just end up dead, and that was surprising, like in a good way. But I was surprised by that turn.
I kind of liked it how it came in a domino chain of them punching up the script.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, they're going to add more excitement. Oh, we'll make it a kidnapping. Like as they are doing it in there, then also things are getting punched up in the environment around them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed the way they.
Which is kind of why I thought, like my first bet to Julie was, we are currently watching the movie. Mm-hmm. Like the events have already happened, and that's actually Pedro Pascal playing a character and not the character. And then I was pleasantly surprised by that too, that it wasn't the case.
It was half the case.
It was half the case.
Oh, I was thinking about too. Like, I know we agreed on Slumberland, but maybe we should watch Paddington 2 for next week. Here's a fantastic film.
It would just roll right out of this one nicely. Like, and with how they how they tied the Nicolas Cage of it all into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately looked up who his wife and daughter were to see if they were like playing themselves. Like,
I knew that wasn't his wife,
right,
because that's the chick from. Oh,
well, see, I don't know anything about who anyone's dating or banging or married to in Hollywood. Normally, I leave those bits of trivia to Julie. But so I was looking it up as we're watching the movie. It's like, does he have one daughter? It turns out he has a couple. But so, like, they took the idea of him having a family and just like tossed any reality.
Does he have a couple? I thought he has 2 sons.
I thought he had a couple of daughters. I could be wrong. I know he had a couple of children.
Yeah, sons Weston and Kal-El.
Of course.
Yep.
And now he just has a newborn daughter. Yeah, that chick was in a TV show called Catastrophe.
Yes.
So did you watch it?
I think we watched some of it.
Okay.
I think Julie watched it. I watched part of it.
That chick's mom in the show was Carrie Fisher. And in the final season was right after she died. And so they have a funeral for her mom. But it's like a thinly veiled funeral for Carrie Fisher. And it is...
Yeah.
It's tough to watch. Because you could just tell everyone on that fucking show just loved her. Which is, probably true for everybody who met her.
Yeah, I've been listening to the Michael Rosenbaum Inside of You podcast where he interviews celebrities.
Is he inside of me?
Not you specifically, but he gets inside of a lot of celebrities.
Not you or yet.
Oh, well, not yet. But he tells these stories about, oh yeah, like apparently Carrie Fisher just would collect people to just befriend them and have them come to her house and hang out and like have parties at her house, and they just, and he was one of them. Like, he met a ton of famous people just by being in her orbit.
Good orbit to be in.
Yeah.
Good one to do. I was looking up Nick Cage's family, right? So Weston is his oldest son, who's 31. Kal-El is 16. And now there's this newborn baby because his current wife is 27.
Well.
And he is 59. Dating like DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She's from Kyoto.
Ooh. Oh, Lizzie Kaplan is her name. Damn it.
Oh.
That is unrelated to like literally anything we're discussing here. I just could not remember her name.
Lizzie Kaplan's fantastic.
Lizzie Kaplan is fantastic, and I'm really bummed that she's not coming back for the Party Down third season. Yeah.
That's where I know her from first.
Yep.
That's Party Down. And then she was in that Masters of Sex show?
Masters of Sex.
Yes, she was.
She just did the voice acting for Netflix's Inside Job.
Oh, yeah. I watched that. That's the conspiracy theory one?
Mm-hmm.
Like that when she's having like a fight. And I was like, oh, talk about something else so we can pass the Bechdel test.
All right, let's get back to this goddamn movie. This movie's complicated to talk about.
It is.
I love the
And I feel like
bromance
it's
of it all.
complicated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the bromance was great.
It kind of reminded me of that. That one where the Seth Rogen and as interviewing the North Korean dictator. Maybe it's
The
called
Interview?
The Interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Interview.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Like that sort of like bromance where they might be enemies kind of thing. That was
Right.
fun. I really dug it. I was in for Nick Cage, and I don't remember what Pedro Pascal's character's name was, but
Javier.
Javi to be like besties the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You tell
He
Javi
was
I don't want to
so-
fuck his wife.
Yeah.
I am Javi.
Don't want to watch him fuck his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had some beautiful moments of friendship. It was great. I think maybe culminating with that scene at the wall where he's going to help him over. Maybe that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the emotional closure midway through the movie.
Mm-hmm. And after that, we just accept them as besties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go through something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, he jumps into the pool and then begins drinking out of his bottle of beer. I can tell you from experience that doesn't work.
No, you leave the bottle on the wall, then you.
Yeah, you don't take
Collect
glass
it.
into the pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Just in general.
That's just the best practice right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Be real honest, I don't see myself finishing this documentation I've got to write tonight.
All right. So just, like open a JPEG in Word. Just copy and paste that under each heading and then act like it got corrupted when you send it in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh shit, man! I guess it
Oh.
got lost. I guess I'll have to recreate this. Give me another week.
Yeah. Do you think that Nicolas Cage was weirder in this movie than he has been in previous movies?
No.
And I feel like the knee jerk is no. But
No.
also remember that this movie is about himself.
But
So you have to take into consideration not just him being him, but like also the meta-ness, the meta Nick Cage atmosphere.
all right, I've got two Nick Cage moments, I think, that would be my contenders of why he was weirder in these other things. I think just the whole movie adaptation is weird and meta in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even sure if Nick Cage knew what was going on in the movie because of the way it is folded over and his just bizarre delivery of lines.
Sure.
But also, my go-to Nick
Also,
Cage,
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
it's a hell of a drug, is what's it? Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, where Nick Cage has this like 5-minute meltdown next to some lizards while he is like with the lizards and watching the lizards and being the lizards. I have no idea what's actually happening in that scene, but it is peak Nick Cage weirdness.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's isolated on YouTube for you to find.
Between that and just the fact that he there is imagery of him or a life body thing of him in that weird fucking Superman suit. I mean, I think that doesn't. It's not even a movie, but just conceptually, everything that came out about around that movie that doesn't exist is weirder than this movie.
Gotta fight a giant spider in the third act.
Jesus Christ!
I tell you what,
Kevin Smith.
Here's the deal. Get James Gunn on the phone. All right.
Mhm.
All right. Let me pitch you the new Justice League. Nicolas
shit.
Cage in that Superman costume.
Yeah.
You get Ben Wyatt in the Batman suit. Like an
Mhm.
Adam Scott. I don't remember who else is on the Justice League, so I'm going to stop there. I didn't have anywhere else to go with this.
Yep, Michael Phelps as Aquaman.
Oh shit! Lizzie Kaplan is Wonder Woman.
Oh, there it is.
Seth Rogen, high as fuck, as Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. Are
The
there
Darth
any,
Vader is cyborg, done.
Yeah. And just Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like it's somebody, like the Chewbacca mask woman. It's somebody with like a Darth Vader mask like that.
Right. Yeah. Get the Chewbacca woman in the Darth Vader mask.
Nice. How about Josh?
Get James Gunn on the phone.
Yeah.
Dude, Josh Gad is the Flash? This is entirely wrong. But
No. I'm going to say Josh Gad as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
Oh, a Guy Gardner Green Lantern. Sure.
Yeah.
Gosh, if we could get, fat Jonah Hill back for the Flash, I would take.
Oh.
But this skinny Jonah Hill, I don't know. I don't
I think he's
identify
back to.
anymore.
I think he's back to Fat Jonah
Oh, he's
Hill.
back to fat Jonah Hill.
Is he?
Oh, that was good
new
news for
Netflix
me.
The new Netflix movie, You People,
Oh, that's
All
right.
right.
That's right.
seems to have a
Yeah, that's on our list.
what I'm going to
Julie really
consider
wants
the
to watch it.
normal
I haven't
size
seen it
Jonah
yet.
Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think normal size Jonah Hill, and then the other Jonah Hill is thin Jonah Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Oh, no, I don't know. Maybe it's just the beard he has.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm back in his Cyrus days. That was the form of Jonah Hill I most identified with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but John C. Reilly is the Flash. There it is.
There you go.
John C. Reilly as Solomon Grundy. Well, he's not on the Justice League.
No.
He can be the villain.
He could be the villain. Yep. Or Nicolas Cage is all of them.
Nice.
Oh, I would watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd watch a lot of it.
I thought this movie was a lot of fun.
It was smart. I thought the way they even did it all was,
Yeah.
well put together. So as far as this type of movie goes, like, I think it's a good entry in that genre.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could have been a lot more ham-fisted and cheaply done.
There could have been
Like
a lot less meta commentary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just filmmaking commentary.
Well,
Like,
inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, oh, hey, don't you hate how like these movies have to jam in a weird action sequence?
Yeah.
But I think the personalities from Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage are just so big already and so endearing that it like really brings you in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal replaced some other dude who was supposed to be in this, and
What?
Wow.
some other dude that I had not heard of before, despite seeing the whatever UK thing he had been in. And I don't know. I feel like they'd be hard pressed to find somebody with like the chemistry. That the chemistry they had was electric. Just a lot of sizzle.
Oh, this is fun trivia. This would have actually made an interesting movie. Nicolas Cage thought Javi was the best written character in the movie, so much so he even asked to trade parts, as he thought playing his own biggest fan was more meta than playing himself. It wasn't until Pedro Pascal was cast that Cage eventually relented.
Well, I love this plan, but if Nick Cage was playing Javi, who was going to play Nick Cage?
Well, it would have been whoever that other person was.
Dan Stevens, I think.
Weird.
I'm trying to look it up now. I'm not seeing anything. Apparently, Pedro Pascal is genuinely a fan of Nicolas Cage, which, I mean, that just seems right.
Sure.
Gosh, what I want most to know is what Nicolas Cage, how he describes this film.
Right?
Does he think of it as parody or like just like a straight up, like
Home movies?
or like a tribute to himself?
Dan Stevens, you are correct.
Damn.
He's been in 25 episodes of Downton Abbey.
That wasn't the thing that caught my eye, though.
He was Beast in the 2017 Beauty and the Beast. He was in an episode of Cabinet of Curiosities. 8 episodes of Gaslit. He was in an episode of Love, Death, and Robots.
That might. Well,
I mean, it's just a voice. I mean, he was just a voice in one episode. Oh shit! He was David Haller in Legion, which was fantastic, by the way.
Oh, that FX show?
Yeah,
that was so wild.
Yeah,
it's a weird show.
It was, and man, it did right by the that comic book character too, because it's just as fucking weird.
I was just surprised that there was still more of it. Like, I thought there's no way this show... I felt that way about Hannibal. Like, the show is just so weird. How is this on NBC in primetime? The FX show even, I was like, man, I don't think Legion... Who's watching this?
But, me.
Yeah,
it was me.
Same. Like, I was in.
God, that Hannibal show, though. Ugh. No, Melina watched that shit, and like every episode, it was like one weird statement, 5 minutes of silence, elk.
Yes, and then some beautiful food, which might have been people. Was probably people.
Probably people, and I know that it's just a vehicle Mads into my life, but they couldn't have picked a weirder car.
Well, in that first season, I kept forgetting he's the bad guy because Mads is so charismatic. I'm like, I love this dude.
Yeah.
And there's like a bit where it's like he does something directly evil on screen. I'm like, oh, they're really tipping their hand. No, it was always him. He was always the bad guy.
Yeah, no, literally, it's the title of the
Yeah, right.
There was no mystery here.
I forgot again.
The mystery is how much you love him.
Yeah.
How much he's just ensorcelled you over the season.
That's his power.
Truly enchanted.
Okay, if this guy would have been in the movie playing the role that Javi was, which I hope that he would not have been Javi, that he would have been there would have been a different name for that character. But I mean, maybe having him and Nicolas Cage swap would have been pretty goddamn hilarious.
And this guy would have played the role of Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have played the role of Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage would have played the role of his biggest fan.
Mm. Okay, and that would have, you could have leaned into this is the movie of the inspired events, because while Nick Cage was himself in the original events, he actually liked the Friends role better.
Right?
Sure.
That would have been the funny part, is if when they're watching the movie, he was playing Javi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they get Dan Stevens to play Nick Cage just in that.
Ooh.
Man, that would have been even a little extra meta.
Mm-hmm. And then you put Troy in Spider-Man pajamas.
And then in Into the Multiverse, you have that Community episode on a TV.
Nice. Jokes inside of jokes. Wow. Yeah. I would recommend this to anyone who likes action comedy.
Yeah.
Or weird things.
Mm-hmm. If you're a Nick Cage fan, that doesn't get much more Nicky Cagey.
If you have liked him in anything, anything,
Mm-hmm.
anything, just, yeah.
That's a beautiful strand of pearls.
Mm-hmm. It's Nick Cage. What's he working on now? You got anything coming up? Let's see.
This was his 109th movie.
104th.
Oh, he's going to be Renfield. No, he's going to be
Yes.
Dracula in Renfield.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
did
forward
see
to that. He's got 6 movies in production: Long Legs, Sand and Stones, Dream
Fucking
Scenario, Sympathy for the Devil, The Retirement Plan, and Renfield. All of which I'm sure are things he just doesn't say no.
Croods 2?
Oh yeah, he's in the Croods series.
No, that was
You know that.
they referenced it in
Oh,
this.
oh, I think one of those. Thought of another one of those self-referential things in Zombieland. They got Bill Murray,
Yes.
right? Because like any regrets, he's like, yeah, maybe Garfield. Great last words.
Yep.
God, there's just so many fucking movies.
And
Wait
he
a minute.
actually did voice Superman in the Teen Titans Go movie.
Close friends with Crispin Glover.
That tracks.
That's a red flag.
But let's put them in a film together. Did you see this movie, Butcher's Crossing?
No.
And he plays Miller in Butcher's Crossing. Seems weird to me.
I would like to bring up an issue unrelated to this movie and unrelated to, well, most things.
Okay.
All right.
Recently, I watched Back to the Future, and I have found an error in the movie.
Oh ho ho.
What?
Yep.
Okay, lay it on me. What is it?
Okay. At the beginning of the movie, the
Mhm.
first time travel jump, Doc puts Einstein into the car,
Mhm.
uses the remote control, and then drives the car up to 88.
Ooh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The car is a manual, and that remote control does not do any shifting.
So this is a technical error. Unless he upgraded the transmission of a DeLorean.
I mean, is it only automatic for the remote control? Because why would you not just make it automatic?
Oh yeah, because you see them shifting at other times in the film.
In the car chase directly after this.
Oh, that's
he
right.
Shifts quite a bit in the parking lot.
With the Libyans. They found me.
Yeah.
There's a band name that's I don't know how, but they found me, and I'm like, yes, yes, fuck yes.
Well, it
Anyway.
must one and only flaw.
Yep. It's only flaw. It's perfection in its imperfection.
Mm.
I remember as a child watching that film many times.
Yeah, somebody pointed
Yeah,
this out in
me
a
too.
Reddit post 6 years ago.
Is there a fan explanation of how it's not wrong?
Hmm.
I'm looking.
I mean, the remote control could just do it, but
Yeah.
that seems like a shitty answer. It feels like it's just an error.
Unless Einstein was taught how to shift a car, I think something fishy is going on. There are 137 comments to this, so this is going to take a moment.
Well, listen, this is important. This is like
It
America's
wasn't a
holding its
perfect
breath.
movie. The sequel has the Cubs winning the World Series in 2015, and that's going to be off by a year. That was true.
But
It was
also,
off
that's the
by a
sequel.
year. Yeah.
The sins of our children don't transfer to the parent.
Let's see.
Or maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not a fucking parent. I don't know exactly how that economy works.
Yeah.
You just cut them loose at some point. That's my plan.
Get out.
Not my problem. I'm gonna refocus my efforts on one of your siblings.
What is the top comment? Oh, there's a comment that was deleted. Oh, that's probably the answer.
The answer.
Man,
That was probably Doc Brown himself.
Well, that's the thing. It looks like the consensus of, the one person who actually wrote a paragraph instead of just single lines joking about other things, saying, the dude invented a time machine. He probably figured it out.
Weak.
But that's not how that's not how cars turn on automatic shift. Like the shifting is built a specific way.
Here's an answer. Actuators. Like the ones that accelerate and operate the brake and the steer the car, the remote seems to have a microcontroller on the back. Using feedback, the DeLorean sends the remote. Speed, for example, is sent, as can be seen in the remote's LCD display. The microcontroller can control the gear through actuators autonomously based on simple remote controls forward and reverse.
Oof. So shifting actuators and then like an automatic system in the remote.
Once it hits certain speeds,
it
just automatically shifts when using the remote.
Once you get to a certain speed, then
otherwise you're just going to blow up the engine. He would have had to figure that out. Because you're not gonna go 88 in first.
Right.
How big's the car?
Is it going downhill?
Going real fast, get to a hill, shift into neutral.
There you
Problem solved.
And I just looked up Thomas Wolfson, Biff.
Mm.
It says when he first moved to LA, he shared an apartment with his roommates Andrew Dice Clay and Yakov Smirnoff.
That makes 100% sense.
That dude has when he does like talks or whatever, he has a song that is all the questions people ask him about Back to the Future that he sings instead of answering them.
That's good.
If I saw him in person,
what's Michael J. Fox like? He's nice. What Christopher Lloyd? Quiet. Crispin Glover. Next question.
I just want to ask him only about Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger.
I can't. You're too much sometimes.
I'm too much most times.
Fuck, maybe he was in Dishonored 2 also.
Might as well have been.
Somebody answered. Okay, so the question was 6 years ago. Somebody answered 6 months ago.
Nice.
5 years too late, but I suppose you could also pull off in a gear and just accelerate up to speed, since fifth, for example, provides speed over acceleration.
It's just
I mean, it does, but there's no like.
You wouldn't get up to speed very fast.
No.
so this is the answer solved in the editing. We just edit out the slow ramp up of
Right.
speed.
Yeah.
That parking lot's not long enough for that.
No. No,
They
it's
circle
not.
it 4 times in that cut.
Mm.
This Wing Commander game had Mark Hamill, John Rhys Davies, Malcolm McDowell, Tim Curry.
Good lord.
What movie is this?
No, it's a video game,
Video
Wing
game.
Commander 3,
Jesus
Heart of the
Christ.
Tiger.
Yeah.
That's from the 94. I did play that game back in the day. I was into all those like X-Wing style space flight sims.
God, have you seen all the ways they've ruined X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter?
No? How have they ruined it recently?
Like forcing you to play with a goddamn joystick. That was a big pass.
Uh-huh.
No, it just doesn't feel right anymore.
I've always wanted them to make, like the whole like a sim box for a Mech Warrior game, so that all the screens inside are like the windows out of the cockpit, and I got buttons all over the place to like move things around.
They've got that, right?
It's like
No.
VR.
At Gen Con, they've got those booths.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do they have them so we can do like a 5-on-5? Like, that's what I
Yeah,
want. I want that to be
Mhm.
always. I want that instead of laser tag.
It's more fun but less accessible than the is it Artemis?
Yes.
Than Artemis,
Yeah.
which is the like Star Trek emulator that everyone gets their own station or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Artemis is also fun. It's just a little less immersive. I think the BattleTech ones were battle pods, I want to say. But I'm pretty sure that was just running like Mech Warrior 3 in the background.
Oh.
So it was more like just a networked set of what. But they did have the pods that closed down around you, so.
Yeah.
See, that's what I want. Let's do that.
I feel like with VR you can get some of that experience.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Time to get an Oculus.
Holden's got one. I could ask him.
I've got one. Yeah, it's all right.
I've got the PlayStation VR. It's fine.
A guy I work with in CCJ was like, "Hey, I want you to get like an Oculus so we can play ping pong." I've been loving it. I'm like, ping pong was your killer app for VR? Like, this is great. Like, I love this. Is such an enthusiasm for the ping pong.
Like, I feel like you could buy a ping pong table for less than.
Yeah, then you have to have people over.
Well, then you gotta have space for it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's about the same amount of space you need to have the zone worked out.
For 2 people to do VR in the same space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, VR was the big thing, but oh wait, all the games on it are terrible. So,
I did have fun with the whatever the Star Wars Battlefront had a VR piece that let you fly X-Wings and TIE fighters. That was actually kind of fun. I enjoyed the shit out of that for, the 10 minutes that you could do it.
Mm-hmm. PlayStation VR got us the Ubisoft exclusive Werewolves Within, which, gave us a good movie.
That was a fun movie.
The best video game adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I mean, Sonic.
There's been a lot of video game movies, though.
They've been trash.
That's not wrong.
Hmm.
I really
Maybe
like the
this.
original Resident Evil.
Okay. I mean, it's fair. They made a
Mhm.
lot of those. That was a whole franchise, right?
The Hitman movie with Timothy Olyphant wasn't bad.
Mm,
That was the
Warcraft.
first one.
Warcraft was not a bad movie. It was better
Warcraft
than
was
it
a good
had
movie.
any right to be.
it had those people from Preacher in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than it should have been.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was also
I'll give it
directed
that.
by
Duncan Jones.
Duncan Jones.
Mortal Kombat was so much. It was like spot on of the game, but it was still just trash.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Uncharted.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
That movie looks goddamn terrible. Oh, Prince of Persia was such a disappointment. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time was a goddamn masterpiece, and all they did was shit. Oh, Silent Hill. The Silent Hill movie was good.
What about this upcoming Mario movie?
That looks like garbage.
Look.
The thing
I
is,
think it'd be
Saturday
fine.
Night Live, the Mario Pedro Pascal skit was like really compelling, and now this new movie is going to be a pile of garbage.
And I'm bisexual.
I'm also bisexual.
Rampage was not a terrible movie.
Rampage. Sure.
I mean,
How
it
about
was.
Wreck-It Ralph, huh?
I did like Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna
Good.
wreck it. I mean, we know that individual. Stingray was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
I feel like Wreck-It Ralph would be my cosplay target.
God, there are just a lot of bad movies in here.
Are you looking at video game adaptations?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tomb Raider.
No,
Angelina Jolie?
I reject that.
Yeah, that was.
Chris Berry was the butler, though, and I'll watch Arnold Rimmer do just about anything. Yeah, no, a lot of these are very bad.
Well, and then you have movies that are video game adjacent, but they're not specifically about a certain video game, like Pixels or Ready Player One or Free Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu sounds like a
It
like
was-
a Pokemon movie.
It was good. It was not a terrible
was
movie.
good.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like they did enough of the world building with like human Pokemon cities that was like a compelling bit of interesting things to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I liked watching many of the Pokemon movies. Do they count? I mean, animated. Are we out with that?
God, I was in high school when the first one came out. We went to it opening night. God, we were fucking nerds. Saw my math teacher there.
Wow.
So when we moved out, when I like my sophomore year, we moved from where we were living out to the St. Louis County, and the dude we moved next to was this dude named Bull. He had this waxed handlebar mustache. Okay, so we moved in over the summer, I think, because like I was getting my permit, or I don't remember exactly what the sequence of events here is, but so I go to school. Like school starts up, I go to school, and my algebra teacher looks exactly like my neighbor, but with no mustache. So like apparently they're brothers, but like every one of the brothers in that family looks exactly the goddamn same. And the brother who is so they all have like this distinct physical feature to differentiate themselves, and apparently my algebra teacher was the one who had none of those. So he just looked like a normal dude. But there was some other one of the other ones had like this weird haircut or something.
So this was a coordinated thing that they did to.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think Bull just likes the fucking mustache.
Sure.
Later, when I was getting my master's, in one of my accounting or finance classes, the professor dude was talking about how he was at a fundraiser the night before. He was sitting at a table with this dude named Bull with a handlebar mustache. I'm like, that's my fucking neighbor.
Wow.
Welcome to St. Louis.
Yeah. Everybody knows everybody, at least once or twice removed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got
All right.
nothing
Does
else
anybody else
about
have
this.
anything here? Yep.
Oh, well, we did it.
No, I think we're through. We have passed through the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Mm-hmm. And Dishonored 2 is just about installed, so.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly timed.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And Slumberland next week, yeah?
Slumberland next week.
All right.
All right. Get a little Aquaman action in.
Slumberlando.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Yep, see ya.